Sloan, the offensive coordinator, who's promoted after Mike Dembrock left for Notre Dame. Downfield attempt. And what an amazing catch and score! Kyle Parker, how about it? My oh my, Mr. Parker!
Joined as always by the Budman, Buddy Songy, here at Pelican Studios, ready to bring you another edition of Tigers Roar. LSU moves to 3-1 on the season, 1-0 in the SEC. They knocked off the Bruins of UCLA at home, a very warm day in Baton Rouge. We have lots of highlights from the game. Garrett Nussmeier, Braden Swisson both take home SEC honors. And, of course, LSU loses star linebacker Hal Perkins for the season with an ACL injury. We bring in the Budman. Great to see you here on a Wednesday, Budman. Look, change in the taping schedule this week.
Good to see everybody out there. Hope all of you doing well. Of course, our hearts and prayers out to those folks that are dealing with Helene, which is fortunately headed the way of Florida. Got a buddy of mine who moved over to Panama City a couple of months ago and said, Rish, welcome to hurricane season. But look, it was incredibly hot, a lot to talk about, a lot to recap, and quite frankly, I have been under a little bit of a fog with my crystal ball. I thought, JP, this was going to be a statement game. LSU was going to get their act together and look like the 14th ranked team in the country. They're not playing like the 14th ranked team. They are ranked 14th and 15th, but I think everybody wants to see more. You and I were talking before the show. This is year 3. There's some holes, but there's also some good things. Will Campbell finally exert his type of play and got a national award for his performance on Saturday afternoon. Incredibly hot. Yep. Not a good recipe for alcohol and heat and sissy blue jerseys. We'll get into all of that, but Tigers have a lot of work to do. Obviously, South Alabama, Major Applewhite, local kid that went to Calicut, played at Texas. He's been a head coach. He's been an assistant. They come in here, got a good quarterback and a good running back. They better wrap up or they'll put 20-plus on this defense. Perk is no longer. He's out for the year with an ACL. Most people, and I think you and I agree with this assumption, he's done. That'll be his final play as an LSU Tiger. But here's the $64 million question. How bad is it? How long a rehab? I was calculating it yesterday. You know, it's not that long before the combo in February. Right. And so we'll see where he goes. But just didn't have the stats. Unfortunate, didn't have a great year. Braden Swisson and Xavier Jones have been fantastic from the edge. But I thought Perk would have appreciable stats after 4 games, so we wish him the best of luck. Wes Weeks comes in now. That's Whit Weeks' brother, so you'll see more of him at 33. Toviano is going to play more corner this week, so 25 is back at the corner. Zy Alexander is once again questionable with another injury, and Major Burns and Sage Ryan are going to continue to have to make plays. But one more tune-up, then an open date, and then the next time we come to you in a couple weeks, it will be the big boy right before LSU and Ole Miss on October 12th, the night they're celebrating 100 years in Tiger Stadium. That's right. Up next with South Alabama for LSU. Then it's an off week, and then it's the Ole Miss Rebels. It's a big game in the SEC. And then it's after South Alabama, 7 SEC matchups in a row. It's an absolute gauntlet with all the talent in the SEC. LSU's offense did start hot this past Saturday, despite the weather. Garrett Nussmeier spread the ball to 9 different pass catchers on the day. They scored 34 points, and the defense. I mean, the second half, you got to tip your hat. Only about 64 total yards to an offense that was absolutely going score for score with LSU. Tied 17 at half, but LSU made the adjustments necessary. They go 17-0 in the second half. But if you hold any team to 64 yards total in the second half, you're doing a pretty good job on defense. Yeah, I thought that they were going to dominate UCLA from the get-go. Let's get into some of the talking points. I'm leaving church today, and a buddy that I hadn't seen, he lives in Gulf Shores now, he comes up and he says, Budman, what do you think, 8-4? I said, look, let's just enjoy it each week. They could lose 2 or 3 more games. They could lose 4 or 5 more games. If Nussmeier gets hurt, this season's in the can. Great point. Oh, by the way, we know that Ole Miss is up there, but once again, 6 of the top 7 teams in the AP are in the SEC. So if you have your Jim Mora playoffs, that's not even in the discussion. Right. Win a game, start to get some new stars. Interesting to see. How do you think the defense will look now that Perkins is not roaming? And it's a shame because Perk missed some tackles, he missed some sacks, he just was not on top of his game, but now you got to replace him. Zy Alexander on the outside not being available, that hurts. So they've got to get some kind of consistency on this defense. But one of the things that guy David said is that why does Coach Kelly keep taking the football? Now, he won the toss, took the football, and scored a touchdown. But guess what? They gave up a touchdown to UCLA. And here's the kicker. UCLA scored right before half, and then they got the football again. So one time all year he has deferred, and it worked out perfectly. But Coach Kelly did some other things that are not typical. 4th and 7 in the first half at the 49-yard line. Generally, you punt the ball and put him deep down at the 10. He goes for it. They come back and get a field goal. So BK's feeling a little pressure right now. I think everybody can see that. He's making some decisions that maybe normally he wouldn't. I think he's trying to jumpstart this team and get confidence, but they've got a long ways to go, and hopefully they get better here in the next couple weeks. If they play the way they've been playing against Ole Miss and Alabama and others, then you're looking at 8-4 or something in that neighborhood.
And you actually, but man, what I thought the defenses looked like now that Hal Perkins is out, they asked Hal Perkins to do a lot of things. Not only play in the box, but then shift out and be a nickel, a true nickel that covers wide receivers. You don't have another linebacker, as you'll hear Coach Brian Kelly say, that's going to do that for this team. So they're going to have to be much more conventional in how they line up on defense. If they're trying to do 3 linebackers, it's going to be according to the personnel the offense puts on. It's going to be much more conventional. And this defense better believe everyone now has to work that much harder when you lose an All-American, All-SEC guy like Hal Perkins.
Yeah, we wish the best for Perk. Look, that first year when he locked in, and you talk about that first game against Arkansas, that first game against Alabama, he was phenomenal. It did not work out that way the rest of his career. But as we said, Wes Weeks is going to move inside and play Mike. Greg Penn will move over and play Will. And Whit Weeks will now play in the Sam linebacker. Look, Swinson and Savion Jones have been fantastic. They've been putting pressure. 5 sacks for LSU's defense the last 2 weeks. So now they're back up to 12 sacks. Want to see what they do. This kid that's a quarterback for South Alabama
Freshman.
and their running back, you better wrap up and tackle. That, to me, is one of the things that has not gotten appreciably better.
I agree.
They've got to tackle better. So many missed tackles, and we'll see. But we'll see if that second half defensive performance can carry over. And as we know, a big one for all you SEC fans, Georgia at Alabama Saturday night. So you'll be, if you're like me, you'll be moving the remote control. I'll be watching each play of both those games. Of course, Tennessee made a statement and took down Oklahoma. They look to be the real deal. Georgia, I'm thinking Georgia might get beat this weekend. I don't think Georgia's as good as they've been the last 2 or 3 years. Alabama hadn't missed a beat. Texas, Arch Manning starting because of the injury to Ewers. And this is the same thing as we talk about the Saints. You lose Eric McCoy as your center, and you don't have Taysom Hill. And they looked appreciably different, JP.
Yeah, mentioning the Saints, they now moved to 2-1, dropping a game at home against the Eagles. It was a big NFC showdown. We'll talk a little bit more about the Saints later on. We have to put the sunglasses on, man, because, the highest scoring offense in the NFL was held to 12 points. Derek Carr did throw 1 touchdown to Alvin Kamara, but you lose Eric McCoy, and the offense did not look the same, and that's going to be a big loss if he's out for a lot of time. So we'll keep our eye on that. Before we take our first break of this episode of Tigers Roar, remind you guys, go check out our YouTube page. It's youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. While you're there, click the like, the notification, and the subscription button if you haven't done so already. It helps us with the algorithm, and you get notified every time we post something new right there at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Quick break. We'll come back and have a lot more right here on Tigers Roar. You're watching Pelican Sports TV.
Looking for a certified Honda? Get your dream deal now at Team Honda Used Cars. Get 0.99% financing on some of our most popular models, including Accords and Pilots. Honda dreams come true at Louisiana's #1 certified Honda dealer, Team Honda.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
You could be driving a Honda.
Now's the best time to get an award-winning Honda during the Honda Summer Event at Team Honda. Find top performance and unbeatable reliability with our outstanding selection of new Hondas. Save on your new Honda today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
And we continue here on Tigers Roar. Thank you, Marty. LSU pulls off victory 34-17 against the UCLA Bruins this past weekend. We do have some highlights from this past game. Before we get to those highlights, I want to mention Garrett Nussmeier, SEC Player of the Week on offense. Had a pretty good game, but man, 32 for 44, 352 yards, found 9 different receivers, had 3 touchdowns.
13 touchdowns, only 2 INTs, over 70%. And who would have thought at this point in the season, mock drafts have Garrett Nussmeier in the first round. Somebody asked me about that on the radio show yesterday. I said, look, let's see what he does against the SEC competition before we talk about him leaving and being a first-round pick.
Yeah.
If you missed it Monday night, it was like a multi-million-dollar brand commercial for LSU. Jaden Daniels outplayed Joe Burrow, 21-23, best completion percentage for a rookie ever, 91+%. Only game ever since stats have been accrued, 86 years, okay? Only time there's been a game where there were 0 punts and 0 turnovers. That's what you call clean. But great brand, Chase and the Bengals have been mouthing off. We love Jamar Chase, but he's mouthing off, talking about Kansas City week 2. This thing goes through us. What are you talking about? Kansas City's a 2-time defending world champ. And so, as you know, in this day and age, a lot of talking by all these players is just what they do now. And nobody resents that. But I back to Nuss and this LSU offense. We talked about it last week or the last couple weeks. He's better than we thought he would be because we thought he'd have the touchdowns, but we thought there would be more picks. Of course, he did get a break, had a pick 6 that was taken off the board because of the unsportsmanlike conduct. But here's the real question and the $64 million question for this LSU offense. Can you get a little more creative with the run game? How many yards a game you think they average in rushing?
86.
104.
Wow.
And we thought this line was going to be in contention for the Joe Moore Award.
Right.
So, more injuries are going to get accrued. And so But I do think that you got to sharpen it up a little bit, got to clean it up a little bit, and you're hoping that they can get on all four cylinders here in another couple weeks.
We do have some highlights from this past Saturday. We'll ask Tom to go ahead and roll those highlights. We'll recap the game for you. LSU's offense did start off strong, moving right down the field. Osmeyer has a completion right here over the middle. And that's Kyron Lacy making his first catch of the day. Kyron Lacy did have a big drop in this game.
He had 2 big drops.
Not typical of his hands, but one was in the end zone too, Budman. So yeah, Nussmeier did spread it around. 9 different receivers caught the football. Here's another one. Aaron Anderson, who also had a very good game, 6 receptions for 75 yards.
Great to see number 1. He's in his zone now. He's catching it and he's running well afterwards.
Nice run right here for Josh Williams. Set up the score. This was a long on the day for Josh Williams, who had 13 carries, 62 yards. Did have a touchdown later in the game.
And, of course, everybody's calling for Caden Durham, but not so fast, my friends.
That's right. Here's Avion Thomas on the pitch. That's kind of as a pass. This is the 4-yard reception for a touchdown, but you got to find ways to get him the football. He's so dynamic. Also a very fantastic special teams play when he fielded that punt over his shoulder and saved LSU a ton of yardage.
Replay that play, and you'll see the incredible block by Josh Williams. Here we go. Once again, is that Sage Ryan? Somebody, either Major Burns or Sage Ryan, giving up a touchdown right in the middle of the field.
Yeah, UCLA scores quick. This is a very tight window. He finds to Aaron Anderson again for a first down. Nussmeier feeling it early, but UCLA comes right back. Here's a sack right here. Initial pressure by Weeks, and then it gets getting wrapped up. Couldn't really tell who got the second half of that sack, but LSU back on offense. And here's the intro highlight. Kyle Parker gets carried into the end zone for the last 3 yards, 45-yard touchdown. Good to see that young man get to the end zone.
Yeah, he's been battling a little bit of an elbow issue. But did you see him again the rest of the game? This is one of the things I have problems with, Joe. Go back to Kyle Parker. This guy's got a lot of potential, and he will be in that mix with 5 to 6 receivers they can rely on.
UCLA back on offense, 14-10 to score at this point. Another sack, a pressure sack right here. Of course, Braden Swinson had a couple. Dominic McKinley got his first sack. Here's the fumble by Swinson. LSU recovers. They have great field position. That sets up a score.
Yeah, once again, look, everybody knows that this offense, if you hadn't come to this realization just yet, the offense is going to probably have to carry the defense and outscore people the rest of the year.
Nussmeier to C.J. Daniels down about the 8-yard line. Over the middle of the field, sets up Damian Ramos, who's been clean this year, bud. Man, he's done a good job on field goals within 40 yards.
Yeah, only one where he had that problem where it was right before, remember when the clock was going to start, and he missed that. But here we go. Once again, the number of missed tackles, and they just got to clean it up a little bit.
This play was reviewed. I thought it was a fumble, bud, man. They give the ball back to UCLA on a very good hit by LSU. March down the field, circus catch right here on the sideline, setting up UCLA for another score.
Ashton Stamps has been playing on the outside once again. Look for Toviano, J.K. Johnson, Jair Brown to play more. And just a great catch right there.
Yeah, quarterback took a big shot, too. Great catch in the end zone. Tied 17-17 at half. LSU comes out. A couple of long drives from Nussmeier. Here you go in the shadows. There's Mason Taylor, the leading receiver for LSU in the game. He had 8 catches, 77 yards, setting up the touchdown. The whole line moved right there. Josh Williams on the carry. And LSU scores.
Well, and they wore UCLA down with the heat and coming from sissy blue jerseys out in California. You expected that. Once again, I'm trying to see what that happened there. But the Tigers had 2 drives over 90 yards in the second half.
Yeah, that was a busted screen play that ended up being a fumble. Boom. We get lower shoulder right there. LSU still on offense. Nussmeier drops back to pass. He finds Caden Durham. Here it is, bud, man. 35 yards after the catch for a touchdown for the freshman. LSU fans love this guy, number 29.
And look, we've been asking for it all year long. Throw the ball to your backs out the backfield. It is solid goal almost every time.
LSU ate up a lot of clock. There's the sack by Suggs right there.
Yep.
LSU ate a lot of time on the offense side of the ball. 92 and 96 with their offensive drives. That's how long they went. Here's more pressure on the UCLA quarterback. Ball gets tossed up. Interception by Gilbert, and LSU has another turnover.
Jordan Gilbert getting his interception. Of course, he's got to play better along with all the other safeties, but he does look like he's getting better. And once again, another first down completion here.
LSU does score 34 points on the day. Picks up the victory 34-17, moving to 3-1 on the year. But, man, we talked about it for the season. If they could have got the job done at UCLA, they had a chance to go 5-0 to that bye week going to Ole Miss. It didn't happen, but they have recovered. That's now 3 in a row. Got South Alabama this week. a good chance for this offense and this defense still figure some things out.
Yeah, that USC loss is haunting them a little bit. USC, by the way, went over to Michigan and got taken down. And so, look, I still don't think there's going to be any SEC teams that end up being undefeated in the regular season with the 16 teams, with all the injuries, just how tough it is. But Tigers are at 14 now. You take care of business. You don't want to see any injuries. You got 2 weeks to get ready for Ole Miss. Here's the kicker. Ole Miss plays 6 straight weeks. And the week before LSU, when LSU's got an open date, they're at South Carolina. So you hope that those Gamecocks can physically brutalize them a little bit and bang them up a little bit.
We're going to take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. If you missed any of the first segment or any of this show, go check us out on YouTube at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcast. And when we come back, we'll hear from the head coach, Brian Kelly. You're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Few things in life are as valuable as family and peace of mind, especially when it comes to your final arrangements, and that's where Lee Serio can help. His prepaid funeral plans make sure your life will be remembered exactly the way you want it to. With Lee Serio, no detail is too large or too small. Call Lee or his wife Gretchen at 225-315-6329. Let Lee Serio give you and your family the peace of mind you all deserve.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
If you're ready for a new car that's designed to take you where you want to go, whenever you want to go, now's the time to find out all there is to know about the new Mazda CX-50, named an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus award winner. Save on your new Mazda right now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
On Tigers Roar, Jonathan Poche and the Budman, Buddy Songy here from Pelican Studios. LSU goes to 3-1 after knocking off the UCLA Bruins at a very warm day in Baton Rouge. Can't remember what they said at the beginning of the game, what the temperature was in the coach's box. I know it was in the, at least 100 and teens. The sun bouncing off that turf is no joke, Budman.
Well, obviously there's one side that is in the shade and there's one side that's in the sun. Right. And finally in the third quarter, the sun got behind the stadium and it wasn't so bad. But yeah, look, 6:45, it makes it appreciably more enjoyable going out there to tailgate. Don't give up on your Tigers, but I will tell you what I'm noticing in my score predictions that I get about 80 to 85 people every week on the contest. They're losing faith. They're losing faith in BK. They're losing faith in this defense. Still picking LSU to beat UCLA, but instead of 52-17, like this DA right here, they're picking like 38-28, 34-17. Chico Moore, our winner of the contest, Amanda contest. Don't forget Amanda Fine Meats and Amanda Smoked Sausage. We are the official smoked sausage of LSU Athletics. It's grilled up before and after. And man, I had a buddy of mine who left a pack of sausage in his car. He said he came back at halftime to smoke a cigarette, go back in. It was already grilled up perfectly for him. It was hot. So stay hydrated. Plenty of this. And let's hope these Tigers can flip this switch. I kind of want to believe they're going to get better, but I got to wait to see it, because if you don't get better and start playing appreciably better, then we're talking about some more losses this year. And I don't know if it's 2 or 3, but You know, if you went to Vegas right now, what window would you click the button? 8-4? 7-5?
I'm not touching the record on any of my money at Vegas. But I mean, if you had to push me off a cliff, if I didn't, I would say a 9-3, 8-4 kind of season. It's just looking that way, but man, with the way we've competed against the teams. We'll let you hear from Coach Brian Kelly. He'll tell you himself what he expects this week. South Alabama coming to LSU. Here's head coach Brian Kelly for LSU Tigers.
Recap a little bit about the win this weekend. Excited about it. Obviously, the one thing that we're not excited about is the injury that a lot of you saw that was out there on social media. Harold Perkins will be lost for the season with a significant knee injury. We're not certain about the specifics relative to time and place for surgery, but it looks to be, an ACL injury. And again, more details relative to that I can't get into right now, but certainly an injury that, we feel terrible about, especially for Harold and the work that he's done to put himself in a great position. Look, you lose players all the time. You just feel terrible for them individually because of all the work and time they put in. We'll have somebody else step up like we've had this year, right? We lose Jacobian, and, that was a tough loss for us. But a true freshman, Ahmad Bro, comes in. Does a great job for us the last 3 weeks, and plays great football for us. We lose John Emery. Another true freshman comes in, and Kay Durham. Does a great job for us. And similarly, we'll have somebody step in here as well. And the next man in will come in and rally and put us in a position where, we have success as well. So these are difficult, but we've got really good players that come in and step in and fill in for LSU and move forward. So that was the tough part. The good part was a really good win. What I liked about it the most is I love the energy, the way we started, offensively, driving the ball down and scoring. And what I didn't like is we had some, mental mistakes defensively, but we battled. And in the second half, we shut out, a power 4 opponent, held them to 14 yards rushing, 64 total yards in the second half. And that goes largely unnoticed, to hold anybody to 64 yards total offense in the second half and 14 yards rushing, and then shut them out 17-0, says a lot about the way this team continues to fight. And now over the last 3 wins they've had, they're 58 points scored, 16 let up in the second half. So those are really good things to build off of. Second half performances. Now we want to build on that for first half performances. But we know we can dominate our opponents in the second half, and now we've got to be able to do that for 4 quarters. So a lot of really good things to take away from that, and a lot of things that we got to continue to build on. So moving into some of the highlights, Garrett Nussmeier was named the Offensive SEC Player of the Week. Continues to do great things, continues to grow in a lot of areas that maybe we don't particularly see. It's not just throwing the football, it's getting in the right plays, making the right checks, and taking care of the football. He's playing at a high level, really a high level. And then on defense, Braden Swinson, SEC Lineman of the Week. His consistent performance has allowed us to get the kind of pass rush, him, Savion, our interior players certainly doing a great job of disrupting offenses. 12 sacks combined, getting the ball out, getting negative plays, really doing a nice job. So those two guys getting SEC Player of the Week says a lot about the kind of things that our team is doing on both sides of the ball. It's hard to get those awards in the SEC with so many teams and so many quality players. To get highlighted like that, you got to take a moment, step back, and go, okay, maybe they are doing a couple of things that are pretty good, and we certainly are. So proud of those guys. Mason Taylor, another pretty good player, 8 receptions, 77 yards, receiving yards, becomes the all-time leading receiver in receiving yards by a tight end, and he'll look to continue to eclipse some more records here at LSU. The offensive line didn't give up a sack for the 3rd time this year. Again, great work in terms of keeping Garrett clean and doing a great job. And as I mentioned, that's 5 sacks for a second straight game for our defense. So really, from my perspective, right? I mean, you're disrupting offenses in a manner that we hadn't over the last couple of years. Special teams, Ramos again, field goals, really clean. And maybe one of the biggest plays of the day early on, the punt from the goal line, the play that Xavion Thomas made on the punt where he was Barry Bonds. Do you guys know Barry Bonds? You young guys here, gals, played center field. Yeah, I just thought maybe we'd do a little great catch, run over the back and make that great catch. I mean, if he doesn't make that catch, that ball hits on the ground, it could be on the 5-yard line. He saves us about 40 yards in field position, and we convert there. But just a great special teams play. I wanted to make sure that we highlighted a little bit of special teams because he's been outstanding and deserves a little bit of credit there. You probably wanted Willie Mays for his catch, but I didn't think I could go that far back here. So I thought maybe Barry Bonds or somebody like that. But anyway. So that's a little bit about the game this weekend. South Alabama comes into town. Really good football team. Major Applewhite's done a great job. Catholic high grad. And first year at South Alabama. Did a great job at Houston. Long time Texas coach. Played there. Had a great road win against Appalachian State this past week. Really, tore them apart 48-14. They rushed for 320 yards against a very proud program in Appalachian State at App State. So, they've got 28 FBS transfer portal players on the roster, 9 of them from SEC schools. This is a team that has some really good football players, led by their quarterback, Gio Lopez, and their running back, Fluff Bothwell. These are 2 outstanding freshman players that you have to keep an eye on. Pritchett, the wide receiver, is very, very gifted and skilled, and an aggressive defense. They can pass rush, really good backers. So this will be a great challenge for us. A team that's coming in with nothing to lose, but certainly a team that is very capable in a lot of areas. Very athletic, outstanding in terms of their schemes, well coached. And again, we'll have to play really good football against South Alabama. So with that, we'll open up to questions.
Coach, right up the middle. You talked a little bit about it after the game. Could you expand more on the job that Coach Peoples is doing with the diversity of the players that he's coaching, and also your interior defensive linemen, Suggs, McKinley, both had sacks this week. How important will it be as you guys try to figure out this linebacker role going forward?
Yeah, so, Kevin's obviously done a great job with the versatility of, the different players that he has. Savion Jones, Swinson, different types of players. One drops in coverage. The other one is much bigger and more physical at the line of scrimmage. But they also have to rush the passer. They also have to be able to, be great run defenders. Some of the plays that Swinson made in terms of hustle plays, just getting him to play at a higher level coming into to this year. And then add a Gabe Relaford, who's a true freshman that's starting to see some playing time. Deshaun Womack, Parrish Shand, that whole group has really contributed in a large degree. And then inside, we've been, I think a lot of the offseason was about, what are you going to do with the defensive line? They have been a strength for us. Bo's done a great job of making sure that those guys are gap conscious and fundamentally sound and getting off the ball. And we're playing with, as I mentioned, we had, at one time, we had Relaford, we had McKinley, we had Ahmad Bro, all on the field at one time. So we had a lot of young freshman players. You had Spears at safety. So, you have five freshmen, true freshmen on the field at one time, and those defensive tackles are doing a really good job. You had Suggs with, his first step quickness. He's healthier now. He was battling an ankle injury. We got him back in the mix. Now now you've got some versatility. You've got some big bodies that can stop the run. You've got some guys now that can add some pass rush. It's starting to come together for us, and I think our part of this is, with first-year coaches and new players, they're starting to get to know who their guys are and who they can lean on in certain situations.
Yeah, Brian, I know there's always a next man up mentality, but what do you lose in Harold Perkins as a player and a person? Maybe some things we're not privy to as a media we don't see.
Well, he carries obviously an immediate. You got to pay attention to him, right? So from an offensive standpoint, you got to know where he is, so you're game playing against a guy that can wreck your day. So you lose that piece right away. But I think our players clearly understand in this game that you're going to get injuries, and so we're not going to lose our identity or fall apart because of it. But you feel bad for the individual more than anything else. But I think from the other side, I think people would see it as well. They lost a huge piece of their defense, and he is a great player, but there's 10 other players that make that thing happen. And I think it really helps now that our guys understand all 11 have to work harder and have to work together to be the kind of defense we want to be.
Was head coach Brian Kelly giving his Tuesday press conference. His last question right there fielded about Harold Perkins and how his defense was going to handle that. But when we kind of talked about it, they're going to look much more conventional now with 3 linebackers when they according to the personnel the offense puts out there. In run fits, they're going to have 3, and then they're going to bring in a nickel. They talked about having Major Burns come back down and play the star. But, man, I didn't see a lot of quality reps at the star for Major Burns in the first few games for getting real excited about that. But how do you feel about LSU's defense ability to handle Perk's absence?
Kylan Jackson will back up Major Burns at the star. Look, the reason you want to put him at the star is that he's not great coverage over the top. This is still something. The second thing that we want to stress here is the safeties have got to come up and do a better job in run support. And as we know, we are still having some communication problems and some wide open receivers. But look, they are better. They gave up 28.5 points a game last year and 416 yards a game this year. They're in the 300s and they're doing a little bit better. But once again, South Alabama, major test. This kid went to Catholic High. His family was Alabama fans. You may not remember this guy. His daddy named him Major Applewhite after Major Ogilvy, who was a star at Alabama. And they're coming in here and they're going to take their shot. So the other stat to give you, and I know Coach Kelly doesn't like it, but LSU's played 4 games. Guess how many total points they've scored in the first quarter so far?
Oh, goodness, 14.
16. Whew. Averaging 4 points a game in the first quarter. They have been down and out. You get behind Ole Miss, 10, 17 points, same thing with Alabama, same thing with other teams. It's going to be tough, much tougher to come back. So got to start quicker, got to tackle a little bit better, and Kyle Parker got to get a little bit more of action with some of those guys. Xavier Thomas, I love it. Do you think that's should be a running play or Nuss gets those?
I'm okay with Nuss getting that pass touchdown.
But it's basically Nuss gets the ball and just flips it to him on the reverse. And so they like Josh Williams leading the block in there, but I still want to see a lot of Caden Durham. I think he's got superstar potential written all over him. And you're probably going to have to come to this conclusion here in the next couple of weeks when you get into SEC play. You might have to watch these games. Once again, telling your better half next to you, honey, how many are you going to have to score today to win? And it's probably going to be in the 30s when we get into the SEC schedule.
Yep, we'll take another quick break here on Tigers Roar. We come back, we'll let you guys hear from a couple of freshmen that have already found the playing field for LSU. You don't want to miss it. You're watching Tigers Roar right here on Pelican Sports TV.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
In the race for greatness, attention to detail counts. Just like Toyota, where precision and reliability meet outstanding performance. Shop and save on our selection of new Toyotas and enjoy your moment at Team Toyota, I-12 at the O'Neill Lane exit.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
Welcome back to Tigers Roar. Talking some LSU football. Moves to 3-1 after they defeated the UCLA Bruins. But man, a lot of true freshmen have played for LSU this year, whether it be out of necessity, whether a guy got injured before them, or they're that talented to get early playing time on LSU. But LSU not only is playing the young guys, they're also letting the young guys talk to the media. That says a lot about the character.
Yeah, just got info on this these interviews. Trey Green, number 14. If you've heard me at all, you know I want this guy to see more reps. 6'7", 245, can run. Look, I beat up the Zachary people because they didn't use him enough in the championship game. That was crazy. But this kid can be special. Deshaun Spears is the next snot-knocking safety, but he's still wet behind the ears. I want to make sure that people understand we're not just being critical and negative, but this is year 3. And the fans that I talk to are sitting here and judging BK, and they want to see more with the transfer portal, with the NIL, with the addition of Texas and Oklahoma. It's gotten appreciably tougher to win at LSU than when he first took this job. So take all of that under consideration. Joe Sloan, first-year coordinator. Blake Baker, first-year coordinator at LSU. Everybody getting acclimated to their roles, but these 2 freshmen are going to be great players. I wish they would play the freshmen a little bit more. Caden Durham, to me, I'd give him 10, 15 reps a game, but they do have a tendency to lean on older, more experienced players. I think the younger players are a lot more talented. Mason Taylor, by the way, as we know, has been fantastic. And so he's had a great season so far. But look for 14 and 10 this weekend. Those are the two guys we're going to let you hear from.
Yeah, here is Trey'Dez Green, tight end, freshman for LSU, and Deshaun Spears, a safety for LSU, right here on Tigers Roar.
Kind of, fill in the blanks, I guess, and you can get to where you can play on the field, be a legitimate target, produce, and continue to get better.
Well, right now, I'm just trusting the coach's process. I mean, I'm just getting better in my blocking, getting better with my technique. I mean, that's all.
Look, you're obviously coming in as a young, talented guy, but what are you learning from a guy like Mason Taylor? I mean, he's been here, 3-year guy, and he's having a heck of a season so far.
Mason's a great guy. Like, he's a great leader and role model. Like, he teaches me things like getting here early, being a pro, doing everything the right way every time.
Tell me about the touchdown against Nichols.
It was great. It was a surreal moment by me being the first person to score in Death Valley on a 100-year opener. So it was great. All glory to God.
Is this kind of crazy because football is relatively new to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just started playing football in the 10th grade, and I started it for fun. And I just took off with it. I was like, maybe I'm good at this, so maybe I got something going for myself. I could do it.
Was it like your first game you scored 2 touchdowns and then you immediately got college offers like after one game?
I got offered by University of Houston football, and then the basketball team was kind of timid, so they offered me for basketball for University of Houston too.
Can you tell us what the plan is for basketball? Because people have noticed you're on the roster.
Yeah, I'm playing basketball this year, but like I said, my focus is just on football right now, just getting better at my technique with that and beating South Alabama.
Yeah, that's got to be a challenge for you, though, right? Because you want to be big enough to be an inline blocker, but then you also have the skill set that allows you to get vertical, and then the basketball thing as well. So, like, how in-depth are those conversations that you're having when you're either coming here or now with Coach Mann, Coach Kelly, all those things? How does that work?
I mean, I think everybody has a clear understanding of what I'm doing, and we have a great schedule planned out for me for the basketball side of it. So, I mean, right now it's just football time, and I'm just locked in on football right now.
What do you feel like you really want to work on? Like, I mean, you're seeing how hard it is to hold the edge, right? And you're seeing how hard it is to block these guys.
And getting my weight up and blocking, like my technique on blocking, that's really like what made me a great tight end. That's all.
I know the fact that you couldn't play basketball your high school year was a big downer for you, huh? I mean, how tough was that for you?
It was very tough. It was like a depressing stage in my life, but I just turned everything over to God, and I looked past that, and now I'm here at LSU, on the field at LSU. It's good.
What was it like to be on the field in Tiger Stadium for the first time?
It was great. I walked in warm-ups. I looked around. It was packed. Like, I had butterflies in my stomach, but I locked in. I was like, it's time to go.
The room is really coming along with Pimp as well. I guess just, how much do you talk about that with Slade and just kind of developing? It seems like there's tiers, right? There's Mason and there's Pimp and then there's you, and you're all different stages of your career, right? So like kind of learning and developing and continuing this growth. And LSU wasn't really known, since probably the 90s for tight ends. It's been a while. I mean, Thad Moss had a great year. Let's not forget that. But it's been a while since they've really produced some consistent tight ends. Do you feel like you guys are setting the groundwork for that?
Yeah, I feel like we got one of the most talented tight end rooms in the country. I feel like Coach Slade Nagel, he's doing like a great job with us. Like, he's teaching us like a lot of stuff. So basically just me and Pimp. Mason's helped with us, me and Pimp also. So I feel like Mason's a great stepping stone for us.
Playing with Garrett Nussmeier, how's that been?
It's been great. Like, Ness is a great guy. He's actually funny. So I didn't expect that from him.
Yeah, just the number of targets that he has to work with, right? Like, you guys got to share the ball. So, like, there's some patience, I'm sure, that's needed, right? Just how much of that do you talk about when you're with the different receivers and understanding that anybody can get the ball anytime, so you got to be ready?
Yeah, I feel like everybody's just trusting Coach's process. I mean, we doing what we were told. Whatever Coach says, we do, and, like, the ball gets spread around.
What does it mean? Like, this is our first chance to get to talk to you, I guess. So what does it mean to stay here, in the area and play for LSU?
I mean, it's pretty good. Like, the coach and everything around it, the coaches that come through here, the players as well. I just want to be one of the greats that come through out here as well.
Yeah. And you're getting some early playing time, right? So, like, what do you feel like you're doing right, and where do you feel like, I'm still learning, but I'm learning as best I can? Like, where do you feel like you really need to excel here?
I probably think I need to excel throughout the plays and, just execute, stay consistent throughout the week. But I probably just, you know, I know I'm a young guy, so I know I'll improve throughout the years as well. So.
Are there some pinch yourself moments, like I'm a freshman and I'm out here playing, or do you not think about that, or how exciting is it to be out there so early?
Typically when I'm out there, I don't really think that I'm, you know, a freshman. I'm just out there flying around trying to play, you know, with the big kids. So, you know, that's really all I think.
What are the challenges of this team that you're playing this week? They score a lot of points. Their offense has been on fire. What are you guys going to have to do in this game?
You know, just execute the job. That's what Coach really emphasizes on, is executing the job is what we're trying to do in today's practice as well.
Obviously, they're playing a lot of safeties, trying to you know, get the right combination. Coach Kelly's talked a little bit about, you know, the coaches kind of learning their personnel, I guess. What are they communicating to you as far as, you know, getting out there on the field and kind of just playing loose, you know, and trying to show what you're capable of?
We have a mix of safeties. Me and Jordan Gilbert playing at Rover right now. You know, we both have attributes that fit the scheme well. So, you know, we just rotating in, you know.
Looks like we're going to talk to Tradez after we talk to you. So, what do you see at him? Obviously, another young guy right from the area that's coming in and trying to find his way.
Me and him actually played on 707 together. So, playing with him was actually pretty fun. You know, him mossing old people. Seeing now, I was like, yeah, we really got to get this dude at LSU with us. You know, seeing him at practice, he gonna be great.
As far as the speed of the game, you know, going from high school to college, is it something that's, you know, you were noticing right away? Is it something that you're getting used to now?
Yeah. Speed of the game, it gets fast, but, you know, when you know what you do, know what to do, and, you know, like I said, stay consistent throughout your keys and stuff, it'll slow down eventually.
A lot of the talk this week will be about Harold not being there, right? So what are you guys talking about in the locker room about, as far as, you know, everybody, it's going to take 11 people to kind of, you know, fill that void?
You know, Harold's out. It's a sad situation, but, you know, the bus moves on. So we got backers moving into that position. You know, the bus moves on, so we just going to keep rolling.
You've got on the field a lot as a freshman. What's kind of been your biggest learning curve? Like, whether it's, you know, class schedule, all that, like freshman year football, what's been your biggest thing you've had to adjust to?
I'd probably say my biggest thing is have, you know, a routine. That's my biggest thing, is have a routine. So throughout the week, I do the same routine throughout. Since I got here, I'm doing the same routine.
Excuse me. Who's helping you kind of learn the ropes? Like, who have you really latched on to? Who's latched on to you to kind of show you the way and what it means to be a college football player?
It would be Jacoby Stevens. Yeah, he's really helped me throughout since I got here. Probably like the third day I got here, we was doing drills and stuff. You know, he really seen the potential that I had, so he really showed me the ropes.
But man, I really like Tradez Green. It was very well spoken. You could just tell the joy in his heart for getting an opportunity to have some exposure from the media. And Deshaun Spears, he did say he prefers Deshaun, even though his mama calls him Deshaun. So we're going to call him Deshaun. And look, two great interviews. Got to tip your hat to those young men. Handle themselves well in front of the camera.
Let's have a little fun. It is Hump Day. We are taping on this Wednesday, September the 25th. Hope all of you are going to have a great weekend. I'm going to go ahead and throw it up against the wall. If they would give him an opportunity, 14 gets in the end zone this weekend. Look, this is one of the pet peeves that the fan base has right now. Doesn't matter if a guy's got an F on his classification level or an S. F for freshman, S for senior. Play the best players. Tradez Green is a matchup problem. I don't think they've gone to him talking about blocking. I don't care what he blocks like right now. Right. Use him as a receiver. In fact, use him as a big receiver in the slot. Deshaun Spears, none of the media asked him why he changed his name, but he went from McBride in the spring to Spears. Look, you don't think he looks 200. They list him at about 200. He's potentially a snot knocker. Got to come up and have safeties, be a little bit more physical. As we know, they have given up some big runs and given up coverage over the top. And then Caden Durham. I don't look. Everybody loves Josh Williams, but Caden Durham brings more to the frickin' table than Williams. And you're real disappointed with Caleb Jackson and his output this year.
Yeah, vision hasn't been there. He's been bottled up behind the line of scrimmage a lot of times, run into his own lineman on a few instances. But LSU versus South Alabama, 6:45 SEC Network. If you want to catch it on the tube, we only have a few minutes left in this episode of Tigers Roar. If you missed any of this episode, go to our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All the Tigers Roars are archived there for you. The Talking Sports with Chris Powers, Overtime with Athletic Director Roman Banks of Southern University. It's all archived there and a whole lot more on youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. Can't get out of here without talking about the Saints, though, Bud, man. They followed a 2-1, drop a big game in the NFC against the Eagles. Eagles were picked by some to go to the Super Bowl for the NFC, but the Saints started off so hot. The NFL's highest scoring offense, good idea. NFL's highest scoring offense, we'll throw on the shades, held to 12 points. Derek Carr threw 1 touchdown to Alvin Kamara. Offense did not look good. They lose the center and Eric McCoy. Taysom Hill still under injury. And the official injury report for the Saints comes out today as we tape here on Wednesday, and it's not going to look good for the Who Dat fans.
Yeah, look, everybody was asking the $64 million question, are these Saints going to be able to keep it up? And unfortunately, Rashid drops one early, hit him in the wrong spot. 3 turnovers and takeaways. I don't think they got any points on any of them. That is a killer. And Philadelphia hung around and then, of course, came in. It was one of those coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yep.
They're at the big ATL this weekend, and Kirk Cousins is a little bit rejuvenated over there.
Falcons team is playing pretty well out there in Atlanta. Of course, it's a rivalry for the Saints. I was about to say LSU, but the Saints always go play hard against the Falcons, and the Dirty Birds don't take it easy, especially at home against the Saints. So Dennis Allen got to get his defense to continue the streak that they're on. I mean, they're getting older every day, but they played really well. Only giving up 15 points to the Eagles, that's good enough to win. But, man, offense has to play better.
Kudos to the Jags fans. They came back and won in OT, so you'll get all the Southern shows this week right here on Pelican Sports TV. Of course, you can check us out on Pelican Sports Radio Monday through Friday from 1 to 3. Big one, Georgia and Alabama. Also Kentucky at Ole Miss. I hadn't seen Ole Miss that much because they've had cupcakes. Interesting to see what Ole Miss is going to look like when they play LSU come October 12th.
LSU has a whole lot to prove, and they have all their goals right in front of them. We're not going to get too far ahead of ourselves because SEC starts after South Alabama to have an off week, but then it's Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin. And I tell you what, Lane Kiffin has looked pretty comfortable as the head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. On social media with his daughter. There's a whole bunch of things looking cool to the kids. And look, offensive guru. So LSU got to take care of South Alabama. That team can score a lot of points, have a good quarterback, has a good running back. Both freshmen. Got to wrap them up. Can't have another situation like the South Carolina Gamecocks where they just give up big runs by good runners. So, look, all their goals still ahead, but we will provide you for another Tigers Roar the Tuesday before Ole Miss. This show will run for 2 weeks. Pelican going through a little bit of a renovation. We're going to be switching stadios here in a couple weeks, so stay tuned, and we appreciate your viewership here on Tigers Roar. If you missed any of this episode, go check out our YouTube page at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. All the Tigers Roars are, once again, archived for your viewing pleasure. While you're at the page, go ahead and click the notification, the subscription, and the like button, and leave us a comment. We love to read the comments. We'll get back to you right there, once again, at youtube.com/Pelican Broadcasting. For Tom, doing a great job, and Marty, our floor director, he's the Bud Man. I'm JP. We appreciate you watching Tigers Roar on Pelican Sports TV.